Have you ever heard of a blood diamond? Well, if you said no, you're not alone. I myself have recently learned more about this topic, which is why I wanted to do some research on it, as I'm planning to make a purchase for an engagement ring. So, consider this hypothetical. You go into a jewelry store and you're getting a pitch from the salespeople, and they're telling you that the diamonds are of high cut and quality and are KP certified. But you may wonder, what does that mean to be KP certified? Well, as today's consumer, you may have a lot of questions regarding the ethics and quality of a purchase like this. Today, I'll be answering some of those questions by sharing what I've learned about blood diamonds, what effects they've had on the world, and what the result has been. So first, let me begin by sharing what makes a blood diamond and what I've learned about that. Scientifically, a diamond is made with pressure and heat. A blood diamond is made virtually the same as any other diamond in the way that diamonds are made. The separation is what happens to them after they've been extracted from the earth. So, Erin Baker shared in her 2015 Dirty Diamonds Time article that 65% of the world's diamonds come from Africa, with Botswana, Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and South Africa being the leaders. From my research, I determined that within these smaller countries are rebel groups that were, they were taking the diamonds and they were funneling them and using them to fund their civil war against their government. They were selling the diamonds for weapons to other countries. And this map from Britannica in 2001 helps illustrate the path of the diamonds, where they were going from these rebel-controlled areas to these other countries, and then the other countries' weapons to Africa. And this shows how easy it could be for diamonds to get mixed up and put in different places. So in the early 2000s, the next thing I'm stepping into is the effects. So the effects of the diamond processing is that they were finding some loopholes, and so they came up with the Kimberley process, which is basically a certification scheme that creates a diamond passport. So here I have this infographic from Time Magazine in 2015, and this demonstrates the different steps in processing for diamonds. So there's also some different loopholes on here within the Kimberley process. The Kimberley process really just is concerned with rebel trading, but not as much focused on human rights. So one of the loopholes is that the miners are unregulated, unregistered, and are paid minimal, an average of $1 a day. Another issue is that the diamonds are easily mixed up in transit with clean diamonds. And another is that there is respiratory risk for polishers. They can get respiratory damage from the tiny diamond particles. So as I've shared some of the effects, let me jump into the results. As I mentioned, the Kimberley process did make an impact in the world of diamonds. It did reduce crime, but it did not prevent human rights issues. However, in Britannica 2023 Diamond Update, they shared that a share of the diamonds in the global diamond trade fell from as much as 15% to 1% in 2010. So it's 15% in the 1990s to 1% in 2010. Erin Baker wrote another article for Time Magazine titled "The Teenage Miner, the Diamond That Changed the World and the Village." So in this, she tells a story of how this teenage miner finds this huge diamond. He gives it to the government, as that's what he's been instructed to do, to not smuggle the diamonds. He'll get more money if he does it. So he does that. He's told he'll get 60%. 3 years later, he still hasn't seen any money. But then the diamond goes on auction, and the government is marketing it as a peace diamond, that they're going to give the money back to Sierra Leone so that they can build their clinic, get the food that they need, and clean water. Well, it sold for $6.5 million, but the village didn't see that money. The miners saw some of that money, but the village didn't see what they should have seen. And so we see some of this as, continuous behavior from the government, and I can appreciate where the distrust came from with these smaller countries. And that kind of brings me to my conclusion, where I just want to say, there's not really an easy solution for the diamond process. And, while the Kimberley process was a good idea, it didn't fix everything. And, there's been a lot of negative effects: war, greed, violence. But one positive effect is that people like you and me, we're learning more about this, we're becoming more knowledgeable, and we're becoming ethical buyers. And that's what the world needs more of, to make quality purchases. So I recently went to an ethical jewelry store, and they told me that they have a high processing system, and they have their own mines as well. So I was able to feel a little bit more comfortable about my purchase, and hopefully you will too. Thank you so much.